Player ratings then, Everton 1, Aston Villa 1 at Goodison Park. Starting with the back then, Jordan Pickford, I'm going to give him a 5. Didn't do anything wrong particularly, probably could give him a little bit higher, but it's questionable for the goal. The ball come in and he sort of dives at absolutely nothing. Again, I think he's just diving to try and test his luck as to whether he'll get anywhere near it or not. But other than that, didn't do anything wrong really, didn't make any individual errors, didn't have an awful lot to do in the game. Don't get me wrong, Aston Villa didn't come with many opportunities whatsoever. In fact, the only real opportunity they come with, well, there was 2. One of them they scored and one of them they hit off the line themselves, which was an absolute sitter. So I'll give Jordan Pickford a 6, then change it to a 6. Why not? Back 4 then, Luca Dean. I've gone for 6 again for Luca Dean. Average game for me. Didn't really do too much wrong, but didn't really do an awful lot going forward either. Wasn't massively involved in the game defensively. Again, the goal wasn't particularly his fault. Got caught a couple of times, but probably when going forward, again, the only Everton player, or one of the only Everton players that looked like he was ever going to create anything. Into the middle then, Michael Keaton, I've gone for a 7. Done okay. In the air, he won a couple of balls in the air. Like I said, I'm not really too sure if he's responsible for the goal, but he done okay in the air. Other than that, every ball that Aston Villa put in, like I said, they didn't have many opportunities, but they were putting a lot of crosses into the box. They were trying to break us through, and Michael Keane seemed to do okay in getting them out. Mason Allgate then, I've given him a 6. Didn't obviously have an awful lot to do. He was only on for 20-25 minutes. Obviously went off injured, which is very unfortunate. I thought he done well during his time on the pitch in terms of just his confidence and how much confidence he uses. He steps forward. You could tell that the team's much more confident when he's in it, because, you know, like I said, he's confident in his own performance. He takes the ball forward. He's good on the ball. He's got very, very strong as well. He come off. Jarrad Branthwaite come on. I've given Jarrad Branthwaite an 8. I thought he was probably man of the match for me today in an Everton shirt. Done really, really well when he come on. Very solid, very strong, big, tall player, winning balls in the air, getting the ball out, not letting Aston Villa get anywhere near sort of him really. You know, won a couple of fouls as well by being knocked and got back up and sort of carried on the game. So I thought he'd done really, really well again. Obviously didn't have a dream start against Wolves when he gave away that free kick, but had a really, really good game today when he was asked to. Seamus Coleman on the right-hand side, 5. Again, you know, we spoke before the game about how Seamus really, really needs to lead by example today, and he needs to bring the team forward, and he needs to show that, you know, when he's coming out in these interviews saying not enough of these players cared or not enough of these players wanted it, he needs to show that he wants it, he needs to show that he cares. And he broke forward a couple of times, to be fair. It was as much attacking as I've seen Seamus Coleman do for a long time, but nothing really came of it. Into the midfield then, Alex Iwobi, 5. Again, pure average for me. Defensively done okay, a little bit better than Bernard defensively. He was getting back, he was helping out. Going forward, it was hot and cold again. There was a couple of opportunities where he had a fantastic chance to put the ball in. He completely missed it, one of them, and then he got another chance, and again he fluffed it. But then there was a couple of times when he put relatively decent crosses into the box, and again nobody gambled on them. Other side then, Bernard, I've gone for a 3 from Bernard. Again, couple of decent touches on the ball, a couple of nice silky moves, but ultimately it comes to nothing. And again, you know, it reminds me of a player playing FIFA who just sits there and wiggles the thumbstick a little bit, and the player does a little bit of, you know, and ahhing, and then step overs left, right and centre, but doesn't really do anything. Doesn't press shoot at the end of the day, doesn't press circle, doesn't pass, you know, particularly well. Again, just ineffective in the game. I've gone for a 3 for him. Midfield 2, I've gone for a 2 for Andre Gomez and a 3 for Tom Davies. Again, both very, very similar in terms of that they done fuck all in the game. However, Andre Gomez gets a little bit of a less mark because I think he gave the ball away far too many times. Far too many times did he try and turn, did he try and use his muscles, did he try and use his body, and he just got absolutely embarrassed. He either got put on his arse or he just got the ball nicked from him and Aston Villa took control, and then he's too slow to get back into the game. And then whereas you'd need another midfielder there who'd be able to come across and sort of absolutely end that attack before it's even started if Andre Gomez loses the ball, Tom Davies is sitting watching the stands or watching the adverts or looking at the flags that have been put up. So the pair of them, dreadful, absolutely dreadful again today. Absent, not involved in the game, but what do we expect? And then the front 2 then, before we go into the subs, Richarlison have given a 4. Again, wasn't in the game an awful lot. Probably done more than Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but wasn't in the game enough to even say anything. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin have given a 3. Listen, he works hard. He works really, really hard. But far too many times I've seen Dominic Calvert-Lewin, not only today, but in recent times, he's finding himself sort of with his back facing the goal, and he's finding himself, okay, trying to come out and pick the ball up to create opportunities for himself. But ultimately, he's picking the ball up, and instead of turning around and facing goal or heading towards goal and having a go, he's sort of just trying to pick the ball up and come out and play it out and play it back into the midfield instead of turning and trying to create something. And then obviously that chance when we went 1-0 down was an absolute sitter. Again, I just don't think he's clinical enough at the moment. And he's had a very, very good season. I'm not going to sit here and criticise him too much, but he needs to work on being more clinical. He really, really does. You know, when he gets opportunities like that in front of goal, and we're in a game where we don't have many opportunities and we haven't got much creativity, he really, really needs to be making the most of it, and he didn't today. And he hasn't for the last few weeks either, to be honest with you. And there's only so far that effort will take you before you start to come into question as to what your job actually is and why you're not doing it properly. Onto the subs then. I'll just have to try and reel them off. Like I said, I haven't got anything written down here. Who come on? Moise Keane, 4. Didn't do much for me. Gylfi Sigurdsson, 4. Again, both of them, did they touch the ball? You know, Moise Keane had a shot from about 35 yards, which went straight into Rosa. But other than that, did they touch the ball? I don't know. Jared Branthwaite, like I said, we marked him before. Who else? Come on. I honestly, it was that much of a forgettable game. I can't even remember who else, you know, come onto the pitch. We'll do Ancelotti while the time. I remember the players that come on. Ancelotti, 5, again, average. You know, he brought all the right players on to try and change the game, the players that could change the game, but ultimately nothing really happened of it, did it? Nothing really was changed. You know, we struggled to get a draw out of a side that are, you know, second bottom of the table and struggling, which is embarrassing, certainly at home. Anthony Gordon was another player that come on. 6 for Anthony Gordon. Thought he'd done his best to try and break the team forward, to try and push the team forward, to try and create as much as he could. But ultimately, you know, he didn't really have, you know, he didn't have ample amounts of opportunities to push the side forward and ultimately to create. But he tried his hardest. And did we bring a 5th substitution on? I can't remember. Unprofessional by me, but I can't remember. That obviously means that he didn't have an impact on the game whatsoever. So there you go. Listen, that's my player ratings. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Another dreadful dross game by Everton Football Club. Another dreadful performance. Another shocking result, really, in the grand scheme of things. Lucky to get a draw, which is awful, I'm saying. Lucky to get a draw in a game against a side that are struggling like Aston Villa are. But like I said, in the instant match reaction, only 2 games to go now, and then we can finally sort of think about next season and think about bringing some quality players in, because we desperately need to bring quality players in the summer. Let me know your thoughts on the player ratings. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon.